Welcome back, it's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the Storybook collection from Close to My Heart. This is an older collection, but I just bought more of it here recently during a sale because it is a great collection for Disney. So I cannot wait to kind of dig into this for some Disney photos. But before then, I decided to dig into it for these silly photos of my family. I've had these photos around for quite a while and have not known what to use to scrapbook them. So I decided to use this collection because there are some dragons in the collection, and we have dragon masks on. So I have done a few birthday layouts here this month, and I have mentioned that we do themed birthdays. Well, this happened to be the year my son picked How to Train Your Dragon. So I bought these dragon masks for him for the party, and once everything was all done, we decided to take some selfies of us in the dragon mask. So there's one of my husband and I, and then I believe the other one is of the four of us. So I am kind of bordering my layout like crazy, kind of like I have been doing here recently quite a bit. But I did trim my photos down to 4x4, I believe. And so when I border like this, it helps, especially with fewer photos or smaller photos, it helps, I guess, almost limit the amount of space that I have or feel like I have to embellish, if that makes sense. It doesn't take it down too much. I think that black and white paper is probably 11 by 11. But again, it's an inch on each side that I don't need to worry about, I guess. And sometimes I'll even take it down to 10 by 10. If I only have one photo or whatnot, again, it just kind of helps, like I said, limit what I need to embellish. So once I have all the borders and everything done, I am going to add this arrow paper all the way down the page. So a lot of times I will just stick with kind of the top of, I guess, the base page to the bottom of the base page. This one, though, I did all the way from the top to the bottom. And then I added that heart paper. I had a scrap piece, and so I decided to use that. And I think the majority of what I use, I tried to use what I had left from my original kit, and tried not to dig in yet to what I had just recently bought to document Disney. So I think I did end up having to kind of dig in a little bit, but not a lot. And I really tried to use the stickers too on the sticker sheet that I had already used. So I did purposely off-center that big strip behind my photos. And I thought I was kind of going to maybe off-center my photos as well, but because I used kind of that larger border, it turns out those are pretty centered, I believe. And once I kind of had the photos down, I did want to kind of see how much space would be on the right of that darker arrow paper to see if I could bring that heart paper all the way across. So it turned out I could, just a small strip, but that's all I really needed to bring it across. And so it looks like it's going behind that arrow paper, when indeed it's just a scrap piece of paper that I kind of pieced together to look like that. I have these perfect flares from Scrap and Happy Studio that are about family, and they're all black and white. And so I wanted to incorporate those. You can see I added that big dragon to the bottom. That's what I was so excited to get more of this collection, because I wanted to use that dragon for these photos. I just thought it was absolutely perfect. I did end up getting the scrapbooking workshop during the sale, I believe. And so I'm kind of trying to see what was used in the scrapbooking workshop and what was going to be extra that I could use on this layout as well. Because I did pretty well stash busting that collection originally before I bought more. So there were really slim pickings on that sticker sheet. And so I did try to use what I could off that sticker sheet, but did kind of have to work in the other newer collections too. So on the sticker sheet, there's all these small white hearts and a bunch of them. So I decided I was going to kind of piece them sporadically on that kind of mauve heart paper. And I like the way that looks, and it was, I don't know, it enabled me to use those up. And I apologize for the shaking. I am inside because it is freezing cold out and I can't warm up the she shed anymore, so my tripod's right on my desk. So I apologize for the shaking. I try to kind of be mindful of that while I'm scrapbooking, but you kind of get in the zone and forget to be gentle, I guess. So I wanted a base for that top left cluster, and there is like this scrolled paper that is usually would be used for journaling, but I thought that was a great base for that cluster at the top. So I did actually layer a couple of flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. There is a smaller one. That heart is a mini epoxy flare, and then the bigger black one is a canvas flare. So I really like the way that looked. And then I added kind of those flags coming out the side of that cluster, and then I continued to add things to the dragon at the bottom. A treasure chest, a crown, the arrow, the dragon slayer phrase. Again, just trying to kind of use up what was in or on this sticker sheet. So a lot of kind of different types of pieces, I guess, and some that didn't really match, but the crowns I thought were fine, and so I did end up adding a couple of the different crowns. There were these border stickers at the bottom, and I did kind of feel like I wanted something as a barrier between those papers on the backside, and so I did end up piecing together this border sticker. I love these stripes so much. That paper was my favorite when I first got the collection, still my favorite now. It's just such a pretty paper. The colors, I love how there's like black specks all through it and whatnot. So I did kind of have to deconstruct a little bit to continue to get the sticker kind of through the back of my photos, I guess. I had put those flags at the top and I had to remove those so I could overlap the border sticker a little bit and cover up that seam. I don't always do it, but I do kind of like to have that barrier between the two pattern papers, even though I added another pattern, but I like to kind of cover up the seam. This here was a little tricky because I did have all of this glued down already, so I did kind of have to pry that dragon up a little bit because I did want it to go behind the dragon. He has some open spaces in his belly where you can see, behind it. And so I wanted to make sure that that border sticker was all the way through and even behind him. So I did end up replacing those flags at the top. I just obviously had to move them over a little bit, and then kind of added more of the little white stickers, the white hearts, and any of the other tiny pieces that were left over on that sticker sheet I added as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.